For the love that's all that's mid, we got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are supposedly supposed to repeat after another unsuccessful first round exit, divisional round exit against it was against the Green Bay Packers, where they were already trailing by 27 points around the first half before closing over the gap until bonehead interception after bonehead interception. Dak Prescott has yet again, over the Dallas media, has been put under scrutiny, as well as the coaching staff, Jerry Jones, over barely any ambitious acquisitions made around the offseason after already some deadline moves made before the 31st of October that, of course, certain NFL teams gotten either better or worse. DeAndre Hopkins went to the Kansas City Chiefs. We all know that went down as well for the New York Giants getting Devontae Adams. Amari Cooper going from the Cleveland Browns to the Buffalo Bills after a decisive game-winning series against the Miami Dolphins. Cam Akers to the Minnesota Vikings to improve their running depth. It got them their win against Indianapolis. Jerome Baker for Ernest Jones. And Joshua Uche for a 6th-round pick. Devontae Johnson going for a 5th-round pick to the Baltimore Ravens, and Cam Robinson, a left tackle, for a 5th round. That could be a 4th round based on his playing time. So, and that could be possible, knowing offensive linemen seem to be the biggest ambition for a bunch of NFL teams needing depth. For the Minnesota Vikings, knowing their quarterback situation. But they seem to be doing well. But that's as far as you can take them, knowing that, shockingly enough, the Washington Commanders are 7-2, now being at least the 2nd or 3rd best currently in the NFL. The only teams that are around the same level of them right now, statistically wise, is the Detroit Lions that are 7-1, the Buffalo Bills that are 7-2, and still the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs that did not play this weekend over a bye week. So knowing this could be a possibility that Commanders can sweep over the division, what are the Cowboys doing, falling 3 games below 500? They're only 3rd best currently in the NFC East, only behind the fraudulent Philadelphia Eagles, and haven't won a game since October 6th against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they barely clutched over a field goal deficit. And Micah Parsons has the absolute the mitigated gall to come around saying, game of the year for the Falcons, game of the week for the Cowboys. They lost. Handily. They trailed back over in the second half after a touchdown, a passing touchdown, but they went like bonehead play after bonehead play, guys. There was like 2 4th down conversions they had over the beginning of the second half and the latter part of the first half, involving a fake punt and a passing screen over a 4th and 2, 4th and 1. And it was like a 4th and 2 conversion, so they couldn't even they weren't even with the confidence of their running back schemes. They had Cooper Rush play the remainder of the second half after knowing that it was a lost cause, even though they trailed by a touchdown over a scoring drive. And I have the notion that I don't feel like you should ever fire your head coach in the middle of the season like a bunch of NFL teams, like a few NFL teams did this season, involving Robert Saleh, formerly head coach of the New York Jets, got released. And the Jets only won 1 game over their past 5 after pissing down their leg over their last 3 games before picking up a victory against the Houston Texans. Scrutiny being the lack of depth, ambitious signings, letting leave Tony Pollard over the offseason to the Tennessee Titans just to put up minimal, consistent effort. I swear, I haven't even seen a 20-plus run carry this entire season involving Ezekiel Elliott since he returned to the Cowboys. Just because they were stingy over money and they have to go for their underachieving, overrated, bald-ass quarterback out of Dak Prescott just to keep him happy so they can have a consistent All-Pro to undermine in the playoffs. even though a rookie has outshined him this entire season leading the division. You still got Jalen Hurts that has still a very impressive supporting cast over the skills positions and playing weaker competition. I swear they celebrated a game against the Cleveland Browns and beating the Jacksonville Jaguars after they trailed over by like 20 points. They lead by 20 points in the first half, and they trailed over by just a touchdown's length until it was a turnover by Trevor Lawrence. Jaguars have a problem amongst themselves for having one of the top five most highest paid quarterbacks shitting down his leg this season. But still, the Eagles not even showing that they can pick up a convincing team under their competition. So can the Cowboys. If you can see over their win-loss record, their defensive scheming has gotten worse. Michael Parsons has barely even shown up this season to even be a contributing factor or a fraction of their pass rush. That's like a major concern. Cowboys back around 7 years ago were reluctant for having a good pass rush option, having a good pass blocking scheme. Ezekiel Elliott was like an explosive playmaking back, even though Saquon Barkley shown to be a better version of him. Eric Kendrick seems to be the biggest upside they have next to Carl Lawson or Overshawn. Sometimes I barely even know what their secondary is doing, because sometimes they just come from pulling clutch stops to Malik Hooker forgetting how to cover, and Trayvon Diggs shitting down his bed and knowing that he's just a ball hawk and nothing else. Can't read. He's getting beat out, man, and most of the time they allow pivotal first down conversions when they shouldn't. Third downs, man. They gotta be the lowest rate next to the Jets. Behind that, but at least we know Jets are primarily a defensive team, and just knowing lack of aggression, lack of confidence in play calling. When your coach has a lack of confidence that they'd rather push out special team tricks in the first half, and they're barely even leading, that just shows that they'd rather just pull BS than actually move the ball with their top paid $250 million quarterback and the returning all-pro running back on the team. And CeeDee Lamb, sadly, he got hurt, but to be honest, that's just a saving grace so he can realize, hey, maybe staying here for just extra bag and lack of success really doesn't do much. Because they gotta know, this should not be the standard of what back in the day. Yeah, we gotta say back in the day, because that was the last time they even reluctantly had success. Same as the San Francisco 49ers. But at least in the 49ers, when they look good, they look good. When the Cowboys look good, it's too little too late, like their game against us. When they pulled a fast one over in the second half, CeeDee Lamb was getting better cover, and he got an open extra 2 points after a good touchdown. And then the lack of depth, when people thought that Brandon Cooks was supposed to be the guy to help out the team. And now they lose Dayron Bland. Michael Parsons out with an ankle injury, yet he has more time to speak on a podcast and be there on the sideline supporting his team. Jordan Phillips. Trayvon Diggs now with a calf injury. Zach Martin. You got pivotal pieces over in your core that are supposed to be the key contributors, and they're out. So what do you guys do to compensate? Shit to bet against a team that's supposedly lesser than you, even though they're sub 5. Even though, Falcons lead the division right now. The Atlanta Falcons lead the opposite of how you guys do, with just a game over. You guys even lose a bye week. I bet the Buccaneers can beat you guys at this point. Even New Orleans Saints, with Spencer Rattler as the quarterback. Oh, God. I don't know what to say, knowing there's obviously, and I'm not saying that you're not allowed to have high expectations. You got if knowing a franchise like the Cowboys, but knowing how much they their revenue stream, people are gonna be talking about the Cowboys because they're one of the more popular and more profitable teams in the NFL, and that's understandable, but also some horseshit. Knowing it looks like their owner doesn't want to let go and think of trying to restructure over a squad, get a competent coach that will have the respect of the locker room. Mike McCarthy just feels like he's just coasting off his play calling, just doing predictable reads that are not getting any progression, or even pick up a younger, more exciting, or threatening running back that actually knows, that can actually outpace and not just attack over the middle, when we know Ezekiel Elliott over the past 5 seasons has been a reluctant second string back when Tony Pollard was even starting over him. Like come on. I don't even know if the Cowboys are even more reluctant on winning. Like, they are less ambitious over in the offseason to know, hey, maybe these guys aren't working out. Let's try to see if we can get possibly a better a complimentary receiver, so CeeDee Lamb doesn't have to court us back in the second half of every football game, so we don't trail by 14 to 17 points in the first half. Or fire Mike McCarthy in the end of the season. Yeah, I fuck with that. Like, come on. And I'm saying this just for the Cowboys fans out there. Even though I dislike certain Cowboys fans, nobody deserves that type of mediocrity. Knowing, like, you guys had almost, like, a unsuccessful playoff history as worse as the Minnesota Vikings, okay? Knowing, like, most of you guys haven't even gotten a playoff win. You only got 2 playoff wins. Since Dak Prescott has been your quarterback since 2016, that tells me something. That you are just so reluctant on just performance over results that it clouds, that it really doesn't do much. And then when your prima donna quarterback takes more into his performance that doesn't really get much results, that tells me that you guys just are in a stranglehold when it comes to how you guys want to be. Because obviously nobody wants to start the season being 3-5 in November, when there's certain teams that we already know how they are, and right now, the Cowboys are what we thought they were. But tell me how you guys feel down below. Is there any moves that you think that should have helped the Cowboys? What's gonna help the Cowboys? That's it for me. Enough of me shit talking. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'm gonna take my Tylenol.